on the quest of selling lots of stuff, I was messing around this morning because I had to go downstairs and sort of practice with headphones and without much of a setup. Should one, as in like the theoretical guitarist, be able to do a decent enough job with a Line 6 Pocket Pod, i.e. should basically you be able to do the job with any piece of gear? So you can leave me in the comments your thoughts on whether you thought that tone was okay, or whether you thought that doesn't sound as good as usual, or that sounds like it was holding you back in some way. So what I was using there's a preset on the Pocket Pod if you want to try it called Warming Up, and I think all I did was just turn up the delay slightly, and then for the solo tone at the end I sort of turned up the drive a bit. Now I'm probably going to dig into the Pocket Pod a little bit more just because it's kind of fun to me. You're using these amp models from 20 years ago, maybe more now. Does it still sound half decent? To me, there's lots of good stuff in there still, and I might do a video about sort of my 5 favourite presets that are in there. Warming Up certainly is my kind of go-to that I've always had fun with, and I think it takes pedals really well as well, which is odd to say but kind of cool. For me, I'm kind of thinking like the fundamentals of guitar tone have not really changed in those 20 years, and the Line 6 Pod was at one stage good enough that Steve Lukather and Jeff Beck and some of these guys used it in the studio. So do we really have an excuse to not be able to get a good result out of that? If those guys can, obviously those are Steve Lukather and Jeff Beck. But just interested to know your thoughts. Do you think someone should be able to get some stuff out of one of these? It's a little bit limited in terms of output, so you'll probably see you've got like an amp out and you've got headphone outs. So modern gear certainly is a little bit more convenient, a bit more user-friendly, I think, generally, unless it's a Boss GT1000. But in terms of tone, I'm able to roughly get what I want out of this. Certainly if you plug it into the computer and stuff. That's the other thing that's missing. You can't do kind of everything that's possible on the face of the unit itself, which is kind of a big thing both modern Line 6 gear, like the Line 6 Helix. The user interface is so good that you can do basically whatever you like on it, or like the fractal stuff, certainly the modern stuff, the Axfx 3 and stuff, you can just get in there and do whatever you need relatively quickly. On these older units I find that's not necessarily the case, but then you spend less time tweaking the tone because it's not really that possible to do all of that much stuff. You're kind of stuck with a cabinet, an amp, some effects, and maybe you concentrate more on just playing when you've got something like that. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? Let me know in the comments. Good night.